Hey everyone, and welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So yesterday we had payments worth up to $914 and $1,371 going out to certain Social Security beneficiaries. So we're going to be going over those payments, who they went to, and then we're going to be going over the rest of the payment schedule this month in November as well. Also, unfortunately, over 1 million Americans are still waiting for their disability claims to be handled. We're going to be going over that, plus 3 different solutions they think will speed this whole thing up. But before we go ahead and dive into the main content of today's video, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Okay, so in our lead story for today, according to CNBC, more than 1 million are waiting for Social Security to process their initial disability claims. The consequences are, quote, devastating, lawmaker says. So if you've applied for Social Security disability benefits and are still waiting for an answer, you're not alone. Quote, for the first time in history, more than 1 million people are waiting on the Social Security Administration to process their initial disability claim. Representative Drew Ferguson chaired the House Ways and Means of the Social Security Subcommittee, said at a hearing last week. It currently takes 220 days for claims to be decided on average, which is more than 100 days longer than it did in 2019. Ferguson said, that is more than 150 days longer than the Social Security Administration's standard for minimum level of performance, he said. Quote, the real-world consequences for these individuals who are unable to work and wait for the disability decision is devastating. They go on to say that experts who testified at the hearing said they have seen the effect of the growing wait times firsthand. One Social Security disability applicant finally had a hearing scheduled for this month but did not live until the scheduled date, according to David Camp, interim CEO at the National Organization of Social Security Claimants Representatives. That came after his claim for Social Security disability benefits had been denied initially, and again at a reconsideration, a process where initial decisions may be appealed. Now, they go on to list 3 different things that could fix this process and hopefully speed this whole claims process up. So the first one here is to eliminate the reconsideration process. So the Social Security disability application may involve an initial application followed by another step called reconsideration if that first attempt to receive benefits is rejected. If an applicant does not agree with the decision made during the reconsideration, they may then meet with an administrative law judge. Meeting with the judge is often a more thorough process and typically results in more approvals for benefits, experts said. On the other hand, reconsideration often reaffirms the findings of an initial decision and often adds extra time to process a disability case. Now, the second one on the list is to increase funding for Social Security Administration. So congressional Republicans have proposed a 30% federal budget cut, which would be completely devastating to the Social Security Administration, said Kerr Davis. Office hours for the agency's field offices would be shortened, while disability benefit applicants would see wait times increase by at least 2 months, she added. And the third one on the list for today is to ensure that Social Security uses the current resources wisely. So while the Social Security Administration is unable to keep up with its current disability claims, it is spending hundreds of millions of dollars on outreach efforts to increase claims, Ferguson noted. Quote, it feels like those dollars should be going to address the issue that is at hand, and in the past 12 years, the agency has invested more than $300 billion to obtain up-to-date occupational data that can be used to determine whether a claimant can work in today's economy, yet the agency continues to rely on occupational data that is more than 30 years out of date, he noted. So hopefully they can figure that whole thing out and speed up the process of these disability claims. We'll just have to wait and see on that. Let me know what your thoughts are on that in the comment section below. Now, in some other news, of course, yesterday there were some payments going out to certain Social Security beneficiaries yesterday on November 1st. These payments were sent out to SSI beneficiaries. These are their first payments actually since September. Since in September, they actually received 2 payments, the second payment actually being their October payment. So yesterday, once again, SSI recipients did receive their payments. So according to CNET, November SSI payments are coming. Here's what to expect from them. So first off, once again, they mentioned here, like, why didn't I get an SSI payment in October? So they say that typically the Social Security Administration disperses SSI checks on the first of each month. However, there are a couple exceptions to the payment schedule. First, if the first of the month is on a holiday, and the second, if the first of the month is on a weekend. So since October 1st happened to fall on a weekend, you would have received your payment a little bit earlier. So that's why you ended up receiving actually 2 payments in the month of September. So once again, if you are receiving SSI benefits, you would have received your payment yesterday. Let me know in the comment section below if you did. Now they go on to say that if I receive other Social Security benefits, will I get those early too? And no, actually for other people, it's just going to be the usual schedule. So tomorrow on November 3rd, Social Security payments are going to be going out for people who have received Social Security before May of 1997. Then on November 8th, those payments are going to be going to those with birthdays falling between the 1st and 10th of any given month. Then on November 15th, the following Wednesday, those payments are going to be going to those with birthdays falling between the 11th and 20th of any given month. And then finally, the following Wednesday, on November 22nd, those payments are going to be going to those with birthdays falling between the 21st and 31st of any given month. Now, as far as the payments that went out yesterday on the 1st, of course, those payments were worth up to $914 for individuals, as you can see up on the screen there. And then for couples, it would have been as much as $1,371. Again, those are the maximum amounts that you would have been eligible to receive. Most people, of course, would have been receiving quite a bit less. Now, next year in 2024, those payments are going to see an increase thanks to the 3.2% cost of living adjustment. So with that said, the maximum payment for individuals next year is going to be $943. And then for couples next year, the maximum is going to be $1,415. So of course, that's going to be something to look out for. And then for everyone else, the increase is also going to be 3.2% for the cost of living adjustment. Now, while 3.2% is certainly a good increase, it's quite a bit less than last year's, or I guess this year's, cost of living adjustment, which happened to be 8.7%, the highest in 40 years. So, it's not as big as last year, but of course, that's because inflation is going down. Inflation, the prices are still getting higher, but they're just not going higher at the same pace as they were last year. Now, a lot of people will argue that the inflation has actually been quite a bit higher than 3%, but that's the metric that they're using. Realistically speaking, it's probably still right around 7 to 8% if you look at prices across the board, but of course the government also uses statistics and they kind of try to rig the system in a way that make it seem like inflation is not going up as high as it really is. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. 3.2% is going to be the COLA. And of course, also keep in mind that those Medicare Part B premiums are also going to be increasing. Those are going to be increasing by right around $10 per month. So that's also something that you definitely need to keep in mind. But that's all we have for today's video. I certainly hope that you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. And I will see you in the next video.